Hey everyone, just letting you know that this video is inspired by the YouTuber Chubbyemu. He makes medical related videos, but I've taken his format and I've changed it up a bit. You should, however, watch some of his videos because they are really interesting and really entertaining. Go to his channel Chubbyemu and even subscribe because, man, some of his videos are insane. Enjoy the video. A man was arrested for armed burglary and armed assault. Here's why he was set free. CS is a 26-year-old man in police custody for armed burglary and armed assault of a nearby pub and pokies. CS was at his friend MV's place earlier that night playing VR games. This was a normal Friday night for the two. If they weren't out on the town, then they would be staying in trying out some new games. The night also ended normally too. CS was feeling tired and left MV's place at around 1 AM. On the way home, he played some Pokemon Go. There were nearby stops on the way home. He sort of felt guilty that he was using his phone while driving, but he did feel that because it was late and there was no one on the road that he was safe. Nevertheless, he got home, brushed his teeth and went to bed. 2:50 AM, CS hears a loud banging on the front door. He's not really sure whether it was a dream or whether it was in real life. Just when he goes to get up, he thinks, f***ing knickknockers. You see, CS and his friends when they were young would knock on front doors and then run away. Nothing to worry about, he says to himself, and then tries to go back to sleep. Bang bang, another loud knock. This really wakes him up now. He definitely knows that he heard it, so he gets up and gets out of bed. He goes to answer the front door, but then he realizes that his father has already answered the front door. He looks downstairs. There are police officers at the door. What's going on, he thinks. Are you CS? Yes, he replies. As he slowly walks down the stairs, he gets to the front door. There are 5 police officers at the door, 2 in the back, 3 in the front. The sergeant gets out his flashlight and puts the torch onto CS's car in the street. Is that your car? The sergeant asks. Shit. They must know that I played Pokemon Go on my way home, he thinks. He starts to worry. CS looks at the car, but something's not right. He knows that it's his car. He can see the dent in his bumper from when he reversed into a trailer at night that he couldn't see, but something was different. He looks at the car again and he notices that the number plates are different. He starts to worry again. That's my car, but those aren't my plates. CS, you're under arrest for armed burglary and armed assault of the pub. The pub, he thinks. The same pub that's across from MV's house? MV's house where he was earlier that night? CS is very confused and also very tired. They handcuff him. CS's father, who is listening from the door, feels lightheaded. He goes to sit down on the stairs. CS's mother wakes up and comes downstairs. She asks, what's going on? Around the same time, a detective and 2 more police officers arrive to the scene. The detective goes inside and she says to the mother, we've got your son on camera, committing armed assault with a knife and attempting to burgle a pub. CS's mother just laughs, a polar opposite response to his father. Don't go outside and talk to him in Greek, warns the detective. Little do they know that CS didn't listen in his 12 years in Greek school. Therefore, CS doesn't really know how to speak any Greek. CS now sits on his front porch in his pajamas. His wrists hurt from the handcuffs, his ass cold from the tiles. He keeps looking at his car and he was wondering, how can someone have stolen my car? Something isn't right. He tries to remember what he had done that night, but can't remember too much. Okay CS, let's just get this done quickly so we can make this easier for you. I didn't do anything, responds CS. Oh, stop bullshitting me. Just tell me the truth, says the sergeant. The sergeant is tall, large and bold. He's quite intimidating. Another 2 cops stand beside him with their arms rested on their belts. CS looks at their pistols. Just tell us the truth, one of them says. I am, responds CS. They chuckle. So where were you tonight? I was at MV's place on Street. That's right across from the pub. CS is really unsure now. Maybe he did commit the crime. Maybe he just can't remember. He replays the night back in his head over and over again, but he just can't remember anything to do with the pub. He tries to tell himself not to create a false memory. He majored in forensic psychology, so he knows that there are such things as false memories and false confessions, but they're so convinced. CS's mother brings down his shoes and his phone. She gives the phone to the detective. She puts on his shoes. CS hasn't seen his father. Where is he? Little did CS know that CS's father was sitting on the stairs, sweating, trying not to faint. CS's father knew that he was troublesome sometimes. Maybe he needed some money. Why didn't he ask me for some money, his father thinks. They escort CS back into an unmarked police car. Okay CS, you might as well tell us what happened. We know that maybe you were just the driver. CS was the best driver out of all of his friends. Maybe you didn't know your friends were going to rob the place. Just tell us what happened and you won't get in as much trouble. CS, sitting there in his handcuffs, in the back of an unmarked police car, thinks to himself, this is going to be a really cool f***ing story. But then he thinks about his job. He just got the job that he'd been going for so long. Where's he going to work now? Where could he work? He starts to think to himself, maybe I did it. He starts to name and list all the friends that could have done this with him in his head. There are a few, but he doesn't remember doing it. Did he sleepwalk? Did he just forget? He's still disoriented from being woken up in the middle of the night. They arrive at the local police station. They go through the back. A large, diarrhea green room with 2 cells on the right of him. There's a sound coming out of one of the cells. Hey! Hello! But he looks ahead. He sees a ridiculously attractive police officer. Hey, he says. Hello, she responds. The male police officer to her right gives a little chuckle. He must have seen this before. They uncuff CS. Take off your jumper and take off your shoes, she says. Could just ask me on a date, he thinks. There are no strings allowed in the cells. Shit, he thinks. This is serious. He takes off his jumper and takes off his shoes. He's wearing his pink flamingo socks. The police officer looks down. She starts to laugh. Well, there go my chances. I mean, being a criminal probably didn't help either, but... Bang, bang, bang. Let me out, says a drunk voice from one of the cells. What the f*** is that? They walk CS into the other room. Unfortunately, there's a second cell door there. The beast moves to the other door. Let me out, I didn't do anything. We're gonna throw you in there with him. He doesn't like people with pink flamingo socks, says the young male officer. Yeah, maybe he's gonna suck the blood out of all of my veins, CS responds. They all laugh. The mood lightens. The attractive police officer laughs as well. There's still a chance. The sergeant escorts CS into a small interview room. We'll be back soon. The small interview room has one table bolted to the floor, one chair bolted to the floor, a little bit too far from the table to be comfortable. It's a soundproof room. There's one camera behind the bolted chair. The chair is made out of uncomfortable plastic. CS analyzes the room. He knows that the room is designed to make you break. The uncomfortable chair that's bolted a little bit too far away from the bolted down table in front. The soundproof room where the only thing you can hear is yourself and the one eye that's watching you from behind. CS decides, I'm not going to let them break me. I'm going to go back to sleep. CS leans forward. He rests his head in his lap. He might be shaky, but he thinks, well, maybe I can go to sleep. They're not going to break me tonight. After about 30 minutes, just when CS is about to fall asleep, the sergeant walks in. CS looks at the sergeant in the eye. He leans back. He's ready for whatever's coming. The sergeant looks at CS and says, yeah, we reviewed the footage and it looks like the car that was in the footage was grey and yours is silver, so you're free to go. What? CS doesn't know what annoys him more, being accused of a crime that he didn't commit or being woken up a second time in the same night. Look, we're very sorry, says the sergeant. It's alright, says CS. CS doesn't really care anymore. All he wants to do is go back to bed. His father comes to pick him up. The sergeant apologizes to the father as well. CS goes to his father. Where were you? CS's father responds, I couldn't walk. I thought you were going to jail. Well, where was Mum in all this as well? Well, Mum just laughed at the police officers and went back to sleep.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised in the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling, no laxing, relaxing, no cool, and shooting no b-ball outside out of school. And a couple of guys, they were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight, my mom got scared. She said, "You moving with your auntie and Uncle Billy."